good news that it has been solved. But did the government solve that because it was brought to light, even though they knew about it, or was it because they have a complete disconnect with the people in Cuba?
You know, the agricultural production in Cuba, you know, the system is really complicated, you know, from production to distribution, you know, it's really complicated. There is a lot of bureaucracy, and I don't know, I can't tell you what happened there, you know, if it was because it was brought to light or, I don't know, but I think they knew that things couldn't get, you know, couldn't be like that anymore. And so it had to change because the campesinos were protesting, you know, because the campesinos are organized like in a local base or something, even though they own the lands, that they have like an organization. And they have been protesting all over the time, you know. And this documentary was used to generate, you know, dialogue in the meetings with the bureaucrats. We gave it to the campesinos, so they showed it to the bureaucrats, and so there was a discussion around it, and so it was really, really interesting what happened. Mm-hmm.
So I had a look at the website and saw that, I guess there's a flyer here too, that you have some sort of relationship with the Chiapas Media Project. I was wondering if you could talk about whether, like what sorts of relationships outside of Cuba.
Well, Alex talk about that.
This tour is organized as part of a new organization called the America's Media Initiative. I started the Chiapas Media Project years ago. Chiapas Media Project now really functions as a distributor of the Zapatista videos and other documentaries that we produced in Mexico. Right now, it's when you go to the website, the America's Media website, it'll refer you, if you want to buy the Cuba videos, to the Chiapas Media Project site, because that's where we're still selling them from, because we're waiting for our actual 501c3 paperwork from the federal government. But this project is now the Cuba Media Project, where there's a Chiapas Media Project, and now the Cuba Media Project, which is distributing independent and community-based video from Cuba.
So on the production side, there isn't?
No, there's no relationship because you can't have a relationship because of the embargo.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If I got it right, these films, they can be distributed within Cuba, but also outside the country. And if that is so, I would imagine that there is a very delicate balance for the campesinos there of what issues they touch on and what they keep their mouth shut about. Is that not a very delicate issue for them?
¿Entiendes?
Sí, como
preguntando si los campesinos están conscientes de los videos se van afuera y que hay cosas que no tienen.
Yeah, I think that they are very aware of what is happening, you know, because we, whenever we make a documentary, we try to educate the people who are involved in this documentary, what is going to happen with this, you know. And we try to make them conscious even of the whole production process, even why I place the camera here, why we put the light, why the micro, everything. We try to explain to them so they can become educated viewers too. And I'm going to talk about a documentary that I made. It's called A Farmer's Education. It's going to be on the tour. And this campesino, he says, you know, he's very critical on the things that are happening there. And you know, after I finished the documentary, I called this guy and I showed him the documentary and said, man, you said this. I'm going to send it everywhere. And he said, I said, do you have any problem with this? He said, no, man, okay. I can say more than that, you know? Okay, I'm not afraid. That's my truth. And so we try to respect that always, you know, to let the people know what we are going to do with the documentaries. And so after 18 years, they trust us. You know?
Whatever pictures you've taken, you show, look, this is what it is. Do I get your approval? Then I go ahead and they'll see it in Washington. Or if you don't like it, we'll touch it up. Is that sort of the picture?
Yeah. It's like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think because the process is really collaborative, right? It's not like they come there and say, we're going to make this thing about you. It's like, you know, it's like an ongoing dialogue between the filmmakers and the subjects.
Yeah, because first we try to establish you know, a human relationship with the subject, and that's why we take a lot of time, well, a long time making research. And this research process is more like getting in touch with the people. Sometimes if it is far away from the place where we are, and then we go and stay there with them like for a week, and then we help them you know, with their working the land. And so it's a kind of, you know, this human relationship.
Reciprocal.
And after we establish this human relationship, then we ask, man, I would like to make a documentary about you, then do you agree? And most of the time, we even ask them on camera, okay, man, do you agree that we make this documentary, okay? So it's pretty ethical. So it's not like we are taking advantage of them, and yeah.
After 18 years, and especially with the young people that have been trained in that, do you have cases like once they know how to use a camera that they just go on their own, like they start making their own films?
No. We we since we don't have too much technology. Then we have to take good care of it, you know, because if one camera gets broken, then it's very hard to get another one. And what we do is that we have these young people from the mountain, and we organize them in what we call alternative groups of creation. They are not professionals, but we give them training. And so if they want to make a documentary, they have to come to us and say, okay, I have this idea. They have to make like a pitching. And then we say, okay, then you have to do more research, or, you know, perhaps some of us, you know, will accompany them and go and help them. And then after we believe it is ready for production, then they can do the camera, they can edit it by themselves, you know, or yeah, that's how it works. Mm-hmm.
I think also to address your question, it's really different in Cuba because to get access to technology, it's really hard.
Yeah.
So it's not like, I mean, yeah, if the relatives in Miami send them a camera, then they have a camera. But if you don't have that, you have no way to get a video camera. It's just impossible. It's really expensive, and they just don't sell them. It's not, I mean, maybe in Havana there's a few stores that sell a video camera, but...
No video camera.
It's like impossible.
No, it's... at the end of last year, we got $5,000 from the UNESCO for buying technology. And there was, you know, no distributor. No, we couldn't get the equipment, and it was really hard. And we found a distributor from Canada, and it was really hard, you know, because we had the money, and then we couldn't buy the equipment.
And that's because of the embargo.
Yeah, and that's because of the embargo.
Can't buy from the U.S.
Yeah.
For example, the work in Chiapas, almost all of the equipment that's been used in Chiapas was imported from the United States. Almost every single piece of equipment. Because in Mexico, it's like 50% more expensive, and we don't use, you know, really big professional equipment, because you can't bring professional equipment into Mexico without permission, and you have to take it out again. But consumer equipment, there's not a problem. So yeah, it's very complicated working with Cuba. Extremely complicated.
The transportation improved, because it seems that's the major problem is transportation.
No, it's the same situation, you know.
No roads. I mean, how do they?
No, there are roads. Yeah.
To go into those.
Yeah, but the problem is that in the mountains, it's, you know, not every kind of bus can go up into the mountain. So it makes it very difficult, and also the situation with the gasoline, or yeah, it's very difficult. And so people have to walk, or if they have a horse, or if they have a mule, you know. But it's something
Yeah,
that is waiting to be solved.
The last time I was in the Sierra in January, and we were in a horse-drawn carriage to get from one town to the next. I mean, like, I've never been in a horse-drawn carriage like that in my entire life. You know, it's really, they make do with whatever they have access to, like giant pickup trucks, funky buses from I don't know what decade. You know, people just.
Well, you should see the Civichana, La Civichana. It's so, you know, it talks about how a community solved the transportation problem. You know,
And when
they are
say
very
that,
creative.
they didn't pick up the coffee or why they couldn't come and pick it up? Is that because they had no transportation, or they just didn't care to?
Yeah, both. You know, because of the bureaucracy that it doesn't work, and because of the problems with the transportation. But it's more an organizational problem, you know. Because if these few resources were going to be used in a very, you know, organized way, it could be better. Because sometimes they say to the campesinos, okay, if you place your product in like a place where all the campesinos come and place the products there, okay, and they find ways, and they rent a mule and whatever, and they bring the products to that point. But then the government doesn't go there to buy it. It's like the mangoes you saw there. In Sierra Maestra, it's incredible. You know, the mango production is incredible there. And Cuba, and this is really crazy, Cuba is importing the mango pulp, no? La pulpa de mango?
Pulp, yeah.
The mango pulp from Central America to produce this juice for selling to the tourists. So it's incredible, and we have it there, and I think they are more tasty. You know, they're really good
No, they're
mangoes,
great mangoes.
and they have to go to Central America to bring it, and you know, it's crazy.
Produce enough mango
Hmm?
in Cuba?
Well, they do produce enough. They just
Enough.
can't transport it.
Enough, yeah.
So for the tourists to eat, they need to get mango from El Salvador.
No, the pulp from like El Salvador. Yeah, there is this factory in Cuba called Tropical Island. They produce this every kind of juice, and they bring the pulp from Central America, and they could go to Sierra Maestra and pay money to these people who need it. No, and they use this money and go there and pay to the other. They also need it, but
And that
if they are in
is
Cuba.
priced differently than the juice produced in Cuba.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because the tourists can pay.
Yeah, sure.
You were saying that the project is part of the community. What percentage of the actual directors of these documentaries are from that specific community or very close?
I'm not the only one who's from there. Everybody's from there.
He's the only one that isn't from there.
Oh, you're the only one?
Yeah, I'm the only
Yeah.
who's not from there.
Wow.
You
So
send
that's
it
why the
backwards.
relationship that Ed was asking for, it's already established.
Yeah, it's already
People know
established.
each other, they are part of their neighbors, okay.
You know, this girl.
They're all related to each other.
Yeah. You know, this girl that directed this documentary, the last one you saw, she was 8 years old when Televisión Serrana was founded. And she grew with Televisión Serrana. Since she was a girl, she was attending our workshops there, and now she's become, an awarded director, and just, yeah.
I just want to say that we have information up there in the corner about TV Serrana, about the videos that we're distributing. Also, there's an email sign-up sheet if people want to be informed about tours that we have and new videos that we're going to be distributing. If you could just sign up on that, that'd be great. We also have the videos for sale here, so if anybody's interested in purchasing them. The TV Serrana videos are not going to be able to be purchased over the website. They're basically available on this tour and then through communicating directly with us, but they won't be for sale on the website.
So this video is only happening.
But not these ones.
Oh,
Well, after the talk. Yeah.
And there's also on the back of the brochure about TV Serrana, there's an email address, and people who speak Spanish, that email address goes to TV Serrana. So if people want to be in direct contact with TV Serrana, you can send an email to that. And one other thing I wanted to mention is that through the Americas Media Initiative, well, we now have a license so that we can be distributing, exporting and importing videos in and out of Cuba. But we're also going to be applying for a person-to-person, people-to-people license so that we can bring delegations to Cuba. And we want to start bringing delegations to TV Serrana that are going to be focused around, obviously, for media makers and people that are involved in community media or filmmakers, that kind of thing. Very small delegations because there's just no room to bring a whole lot of people.
But they can bring a tent.
You could take care of that. So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have like our first delegation down to TV Serrana.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming.